do you cut permanent migration to levels around 160,000 persons without reducing the intake of skilled foreign workers?
Well, what we've said is that the Albanese government has now created a Big Australia policy. They didn't tell anybody about it before the election. They've just sprung it on people, and it's at the same time that they took money out of the infrastructure program as well. So there are no new schools, there are no new freeways, no road widenings, no new car parks at train stations or extra capacity on public transport under the government's plan. They bring in 1.67 million people in a 5-year period, which is bigger than the population of Adelaide. Now, think of the infrastructure that has been built up over decades and decades in Adelaide to accommodate 1.6, 1.7 million people. The reality is that the government just hasn't planned well enough. Now, what we've suggested is a much more measured way to try and make homes available for Australians. We do that through our policy in year one by reducing the skilled program down to 140,000, similarly in year two, and then we gently bring it back up to 150,000 in year three and 160,000 in year four. We reduce the number of in the refugee and humanitarian program to 13,750 through years 1 to 4, and that brings it back to the long-term, close to the long-term run or average of those numbers. The government again ramped up that program as well. You've seen the growth in bridging visas, and we believe very strongly. If you look at University of Sydney, for example, now 47% of their students on campus are international students. They made $1.4 billion last year, but having international students living in homes that should be rented by Australians or purchased by Australians is not acceptable in a tight market for housing. Like Michael, I absolutely celebrate every day a great migration story in this country, and I want to see international students come to Australia, but it needs to be done in a managed way. And I want a better Australia, not Anthony Albanese's bigger Australia. And if the numbers continue to grow, then the problem of housing will continue to compound, and you'll see rents go higher. And at the moment, when you see people 30, 40 deep lining up for a rental property, that wasn't happening a couple of years ago. And I just say to Australians, are you better off today than you were 2 years ago? It's 2 years since the Albanese government was elected. There are very few Australians, maybe billionaires, who are copping all sorts of support through different programs in the mining sector. Maybe they're happier, but for average people, people who are losing their jobs now, people who are losing their small businesses, manufacturing in our country, the number of insolvencies over the last 2 years has gone up threefold. And these are all human stories. And the Prime Minister just doesn't have the answers. In 3 budgets, Anthony Albanese's had the opportunity to make his mark on Australia, and he's made a bad mark. And he's made it harder for average Australians to pay their bills. And every day Australians are feeling that every time they open an email with an invoice attached.